Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another video. And today I would like to share my thoughts on Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Episode 10, which I thought was another fantastic episode. I know I start pretty much every one of these videos saying something to that effect, but you know, it's the truth. I love Fairy Tail so much. I've actually gone back and started rereading the manga up to Volume 5 now, which is great because this episode ends right near the end of Volume 4. There's still a couple more scenes left to adapt, which that'll be next week, the beginning of Episode 11, so stay tuned for that. And I had a couple reasons why I wanted to do that. Number one, as you already know, I love Fairy Tail. Number two, just to get an idea, refresh my memory, because it's been a while since I read the manga, refresh my memory with what's going to happen, and get ideas of what I can compare and contrast from the anime to the manga, because I've taken a few screenshots, and of course do my compare and contrast, and also to get a rough idea of how quickly or slowly the adaptation is going, which I have to say, this is a really good anime adaptation. People are always going to have their nitpicks, which of course I have my own, talking about Lucy's hair length and how she doesn't change her outfits nearly as much as she does in the manga, which, you know, to that I'll say, go read the manga. The manga's still there. And as I've mentioned before, I do think the anime is usually always the superior version of these types of things, whether you want to read the manga or watch the anime. To me, the anime elevates it with the voice acting and the music. And also, as we saw last week at the end of episode 9, Lucy's Stardress mix transformation, combining Leo and Virgo's powers into one. I showed you in the manga, there's like two little panels, and then the whole page showing Lucy. You see her on screen, that's the anime version. Whereas in the anime, there's like a 35-second magical girl transformation that wasn't in the manga. And they had a whole new insert song too. So maybe I'm biased because Lucy's my number one waifu, but I feel like that's where the anime does it better. But I digress. Let's go into some of the screenshots now. I started off here with Lucy in the Leo Virgo form just because this episode actually began adapting some of the bonus chapters. I forget which episode it was, but it was a couple weeks ago. They did Troubled Lucy, where she had writer's block and went on a job getting hassled by the anteaters. Every one of the volumes in the manga has a bonus chapter, with the exception of Volume 1, I think. So they actually adapted two of the bonus chapters in this episode. I thought that was kind of strange from Volume 3 and Volume 4. Just because, you know, why not space them out a little more? We got the Troubled Lucy one from a few weeks ago. Now we get two in a row. They're both great, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like they could have maybe spaced them out a little more. So let's begin with that. And the reason why I couldn't start with this screenshot is because I couldn't keep a straight face while doing my intro. Because the episode starts with this, with Juvia practicing her kissing in the mirror. And as she's doing this, Erza shows up and is like, "What are you doing?" And Juvia, "Oh, I'm practicing for Gray-sama. I need to be a good kisser when I finally kiss him." And it shows her fantasizing, kissing Gray naked, which I guess they're doing more than just kissing if they're naked, but that's another story. I don't have all the screenshots because that'd just be way too many, but there's another one as she's talking to Erza, telling the story. Gray is actually sitting across from her and is like, "You weirdo, do this in the privacy of your own room. Like, what are you doing?" "Oh, Gray-sama, are you ready for me? Juvia's ready." So she's going crazy and tells Erza, you know, "You need to practice your kissing as well for Jellal." So Erza's like, "I don't need to do that." And it cuts to her getting her strawberry shortcake, having some tea, and, you know, just hanging out. When all of a sudden she does start practicing, she's at a window seat, so she starts, you know, kissing the window. I guess you can see her reflection there. And none other than Jellal walks by, and Erza, "Oh, don't look at me, Jellal, what are you doing?" And Jellal is just speechless, like, "What's wrong with this woman? What is she doing?" And she's all embarrassed. So then it cuts over to the other bonus chapter, which that one, with Juvia and Erza, that was at the end of Volume 3. This one's from the end of Volume 4. And it shows Gajeel just passed out on the floor. It looks like he took all his clothes off. He's got some popcorn, some booze, who knows what else. And this is to, I guess, further confirm the Gajeel-Levy relationship, which I think that was confirmed at the very end of the final episode of the original series. You remember, you know, they were talking about that, how Levy was pregnant, but they kind of like dance around it a little. Anyway, Levy shows up and sees him there, and they get a flashback about how Gajeel is taking on more jobs because he needs more money for the kid they're expecting. And then it also shows, Levy snuggling up next to him. You see she folded his clothes, made things a little neater. And Panther Lily shows up, and I can't wait to meet my new family member. And you see she has a little bit of a tummy. She's holding her tummy right there. Really cute scene. So that was at the end of Volume 4. And then the episode begins here. We have Lucy, of course. She's with Leo, or Loki, and Virgo taking on Lasana, Mirajane, and Elfman. And she did the Leo-Virgo form. Natsu put it best last week when he said it's the Battle of Fairy Tail and Drazel, which I said it was the Battle of Fairy Tail 2.0, but yeah, it's the Battle of Fairy Tail and Drazel. There's a couple of rematches. We had Natsu taking on Gajeel, and then Gray ran into Bixlow, Freed, and Evergreen. So, here's a comparison right there. I think she looks great in the anime. She looks great in the manga as well. Absolutely beautiful. So, Lasana gets distracted, says, oh, she's so pretty, and then, no, she's bad, I gotta fight her, because remember, everyone's controlled by the White Mage, with the exception of Team Natsu, and to an extent, Juvia. Here's my obligatory Lucy boob shot. This is for a split second. She was moving her hand and had the crest on her hand, which covers her boob, but for a split second, you can see Lucy's giant titties. Like, my God, we're gonna file them in my folder for later. But Lasana, she has a transformation of her own, turns into a nine-tailed fox, which is a pretty cool transformation. But Lucy uses the Leo Maiden attack, which, just look at that, holy crap, man. And not only attacks Lasana, but also attacks Mirajane and Elfman. You see, even Mirajane is taken aback, like, oh, that's powerful, Lucy's gotten much stronger. So she uses that attack. And poor Lasana, that pose reminded me so much of Yamcha from Dragon Ball Z. Like, that's the same pose when the Saiyaman blew up, isn't it? Maybe that's the reference. But anyway, so after the attack, Lucy turns back into just her Leo star dress and mentions how, she used all the energy, so it wore her out, so she's just back to normal. She can only hold the form for so much time, or if she uses a really powerful attack and reverts back to normal. So she goes back to normal. Although, remember last week Lasana scratched her in her one boob? She healed herself. What's up with that? And I checked the manga. She's healing the manga too. Just FYI. But she thinks she defeated them all. And Mirajane and Elfman get back up. You see they're scratched. They got bruises on them. And again, here's another comparison. In the anime, it shows like it pans up from the bottom up, but I just wanted to, show their faces. But, it shows all the curvature of Mirajane and even Elfman if you're into that, but I'm into Mirajane for sure. So, despite the attack, they're still standing, and as they're there, they're like, okay, well, we took down Lasana. Virgo, are you ready? Are you going to fight too? Because where's Virgo? She's not in this shot. And, of course, Virgo is tied up in some kind of bondage. And Lucy's like, how did this even happen to you? And Virgo, she's just sitting there just smiling. She's enjoying it. But really, how did that even happen? did Mirajane, who did it? Where's she hanging from? That's what Lucy's thinking. That's what I'm thinking too. But she's having a grand old time. And then, of course, it cuts over to the White Mage, who's just watching it all play out. We saw in the last episode, episode 9, they destroyed one of the Lacrima. There's 5 Lacrima on Alderaan, the Wood Dragon God's back. And after destroying them all, she's going to try and take control of them. We'll see about that. But she's just sitting there plotting away. And it shows the big sleepy boy. Look at him. He's just trying to take a nap. Everyone's causing a ruckus on his back. He's like, leave me alone, humans. I'm just chilling here. Why are you attacking me? I love his dirty little face there. There's Alderaan. It cuts over to Erza, who's making her way. You see where that beam is? There's 5 of them, and our heroes are making their way to different locations. Erza sees it in the distance, gets ambushed by Jet and Droy, and defeats them in one hit, just like the jobbers they are. And I love this line. Honestly, a villain controls you, and that's the best you can do. But she makes her way there, and of course, Jellal is waiting for her. And so she transforms, uses Requip, and says, come at me, Jellal. And you see here, he's wearing his, the White Mage's robe. But he throws it off. And he's just wearing his underwear. And this line, because Erza right before said, come at me. And he says, no, Erza, you come at me. Why did you disrobe? Look how nervous she is. And I think honestly, I think that's why they showed both of the, now that I think about it more, they showed both of those bonus chapters to sort of show you, obviously we know the Gray and Juvia ship, but also to remind you of the Erza Jellal ship, and then later the Gajeel Levy ship. I think it makes sense now why they showed two of them. But she's freaking out and turned to stone. Look at how he's like sparkling. And because you're here, look at him awake. And here it is in the manga. So come at me. And like she does the same face, doesn't she? Where is it? Yeah. Excellent job. I love it. So where do we go next? Okay, next it cuts over to Gray, who's fighting Freed, Evergreen, and Bixlow. And, you know, at first he was just fighting Bixlow, but the other two showed up, and he's like, oh, is this going to be a fair fight? Because remember, that was the original fight from the Battle of Fairy Tail, the original series, Gray versus Bixlow. But now there's three of them, and they're ganging up on him. And Juvia sees this. Evergreen-san stepped on Gray-sama with her bare feet. She can't take it. And she's like just seething there, my rival. And then Juvia remembers that she can't use magic because she's sort of under control of the White Mage, but not really. Like, the White Mage can sort of control her for a split second to convey messages, but then she reverts back to normal and therefore can't use her magic right now. But she's flipping out, and here it is. And again, this is a part where I think the anime kind of does it better because it shows Juvia seeing this, that Evergreen's stepping on Gray-sama, but you see in the anime, it's like a reflection in Juvia's eye. I thought that was a nice touch right there. And again, even with the faces she's making, you see that face, and right there, oh, going too fast. It shows all the faces, so I thought that was really cute. And I always love how Juvia talks in the third person, like, Juvia, Gray-sama, Juvia loves you, Gray. So, there's the three of them, Bixlow, Freed, and Evergreen. And Gray's going to use his Ice Make magic, but Freed reveals, oh no, you're in my enchantment, you can't use that magic here. So what happens is Gray uses his Ice Demon transformation that he inherited from his father, Silver. Again, I always get confused as to what I should call it, because in the English dub, they call it Demon, because they're like the demons of the Book of Zareth. But both in the manga and the English subtitles, they call it Devil, Ice Devil. And listening to them speak, he says Akuma, which Akuma can mean either demon or devil. So I don't know. I kind of like Demon better, honestly, because, you know, the demons of the Book of Zareth and Silver and all that, but Demon, Devil, it's all the same. So, you know, he overpowers them all. And this one was a pretty funny scene, because remember, Evergreen has the stone eyes, and then Bixlow can control things, turn them into puppets or whatever, and has her use the stone eyes to freeze him, and then turns her into like a little doll. And right before Freed passes out, he's like, do you not feel any pain? Because the three of them were ganging up on him, but then Gray turned the tables, and he's like, of course I feel pain. I'm beating up my own friends. So a great moment from Gray. Then it cuts over to Gajeel versus Natsu, who are both pretty evenly matched, and Natsu's flipping out like, come on, Gajeel, go down. I gotta take on Loxus. I gotta take on Jellal. I gotta take them all on. But Gajeel's not going down without a fight. And then Levy shows up. Remember, Levy's pregnant. And this is Natsu's ready to punch Gajeel. Levy stands in the way, and then Natsu hesitates because he's not going to punch a pregnant woman. And you get the flashback here with Levy saying she's going to be a mom. Which again, I think they outright said it in the last episode of the original series, and they've sort of like just kind of danced around the topic at the beginning here. But now they outright say that she's going to be a mother, and you get this, oh god, you know, okay. Congratulations, Levy, for going to be a mother. You're great, but look at how cute Lucy is there with her heart shirt, her twin tails. I love her. Lucy's mine. And then Happy, oh, Levy, you're laying an egg? And then Natsu's like, whose kid is it? Is it my kid? Where's this egg from? Because remember, Happy was hatched from an egg, so that's what he thinks. And there it is. Lucy's got like the goo eyes there, but same thing. And I love, okay, my nitpick earlier, how Lucy doesn't change her outfit as much in her hair. Here she got the long twin tails and the heart shirt. So there you go. And again, you're laying an egg. Whose kid is it? Mine? It's an egg. It's not yours. Really cute stuff. And as Natsu hesitates, again, he's not going to, Natsu's crazy. He's always itching for a fight, but he's not going to punch a pregnant woman. Levy's able to seize the opportunity and use solid script to create a carriage to, you know, incapacitate Natsu in his motion sickness, if you will. And then it shows right here, Levy and Gajeel holding hands, which this is something I talked about when I was reviewing these volumes like a year and a half ago, is how the hell does the White Mage's magic even work? Because everyone still has their memories and their feelings for one another, but they're fighting their other friends in Team Natsu. Because here, Gajeel and Levy acknowledge that, you know, they love each other, they have a kid, they're gonna have a kid, but they're still fighting against Natsu and company. It's just, I don't know. It's, who cares, right? It's still a fun story, but there's some loopholes, I guess. But anyway, and again, why the hell Erza and Jellal, they're getting all nervous because they're fighting each other naked, but that continues. Again, because Jellal's under the White Mage's control. Erza's flipping out like, you're too close, get away from me, I can't take it. Put that robe back on. And she's just quivering. And then it shows over here, Wendy made her way to another church where the Lacrima is, but she sees like spider webs. And it's all dark, like, oh no, what's going on here? And notices, I think that's Nab, Max, and Warren are all tied up. And we meet a new character, member of Diabolos, Naboru. Which, there he is in the manga. And as far as the colors go, I think it's volume 6. He's on the cover of volume 6. So those are the same colors. He's got the green hair and everything. And there you go. Good stuff. But Wendy, you know, she gets tied up by the webs. And he's going to eat her. Because he realizes that she's a dragon slayer. So he'll get more powers if he eats her. So then, because we saw him, the other members of Diabolos are there. And we see them all chilling. Mad Mole, Scullion, and Kyria. And another instance where, dude, Kyria, she is great in the manga, but in my opinion, in the anime, even better. Number one, she's so much sexier in the anime. Just look at those legs. Number two, the voice actors, both the Japanese and the English voice actors, oh, she's perfect. But there she is, just chilling, and she says we should just eat Alderaan because they're on Alderon's back. Let's just start eating him. And then Scullion and Mad Mole are like, no, calm down, Kyria. We'll strike when the time is ready. So they're just chilling there, having some tea or whatever they're having. And here it is, the comparison again. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think she's so much sexier in the anime. Maybe it's the colors. I don't know. But to me, there you go. But there she is. I'm sorry, I'm simping for Kyria. Lucy's still my number one, absolutely. Nope, no one's surpassing her. But Kyria is moving up in the ranks, that's for sure. So there's Alderaan. Well, this is like just them thinking about Alderaan. He's still sleeping, but that's just another image of him, just so you get the idea. He's the giant wood dragon god. And she's ready because she smells, as the scene transitions, she mentions, oh, I smell my pet. Talking about Erza. And it cuts to Erza as a cat girl. And to get Jellal to calm down, which I don't know how this will calm him down. This will get him even crazier. She's like, I'm a cat girl, Jellal. Meow, meow. And you look at her go. And look, dude, look at Jellal's face first of all. Look how thick Erza is. Holy shit, did her titties get bigger or what? But she's even got like a little tummy. Oh my god. Erza, what are you doing? And real quick, she turns into all her different forms. Yeah, I'll make them big. She's the cat girl. Then what else does she turn into? The bunny girl, which that's nice. And the swimsuit model, I think. Yep, the swimsuit model. And my personal favorite, the gothic Lolita, which, you know, you may say, oh, she's the most clothed one. But to that, look at those, just look at her. Anyway. So, oh, and then the seduction armor, which, God, I think the only time she ever used this in the original series was against Azuma on Tenro Island. No, she didn't use it. She thought about using it. And dude, just look at her sword with the heart. Come on. I think in the original seduction armor, it actually said, come on, boy. Like, what the hell, man? But anyway, here it is. It happens in the manga, too, guys. Like, look, I'm a kitty cat, Jellal. Just look at his face. And, oh, you don't like the cat girl? What about a bunny? And what about the swimsuit model? Or the gothic Lolita? And the revealing armor. Teehee. And, sorry, excuse me. Jellal just can't take it anymore. And just jumps up on top of Erza. And look at her face. Like, what the hell's going on? Hey, I wouldn't be able to resist either. So, Erza just doesn't know what to do anymore. And none other than Loxus walks in, and he's like, what are you guys doing? And I have this whole one, and we'll go through this. So, Loxus walks in, and sees this, and says, I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Jellal. And they look over. Look at Erza's face especially. Jellal's not even blushing. He's like, yeah, what of it, Loxus? You want some too? She's all mine. And Loxus isn't impressed. And Erza, let's look at her. Oh no, I can't. This is all misunderstanding, Loxus, I swear. And then Loxus says something to Jellal, like, don't you remember the mission from the White Mage, what we're supposed to do? And Jellal's like, yeah, I remember. Well, I'm not going to zoom in because it's too much. He says, no, I'll be keeping Erza so I can do this and that with her. Like, what do you mean this and that, Jellal? This and that? Oh, you know. But anyway, so Erza is freaking out like, what does he mean, this and that? I'm not doing anything. I have to defeat him in battle. So while all this is going on, remember we had Jellal on top of Erza, who was wearing the seduction armor. Loxus walked in on him. She's freaking out. None other than Kyria walks in. Because if you remember the last time we saw her a short while ago, she's like, I smell my pet and other dragon slayers. And she walks in looking fine as ever. Just look at her. And she notices Loxus. I have a short little video here. You see she's blushing. She notices Loxus and mentions, ooh, that's a dragon slayer too. So she's gonna eat him, I guess. And she's licking her lips. So, has a new husbando in Loxus, I suppose. But to close out the episode, we meet the next member of Diabolos. Of course, again, going back to the beginning, the episode was called New Foes. We met Neberu, and now we meet Wraith. Which in the manga, they called him Rice or Reyes, something like that. There's always been a weird way to translate R's and L's when it comes to Japan, translating it to English. So in the manga, I saw it in my physical copy. He's called Rice there, but here he's called Wraith, which Wraith is better because he's the spirit dragon. And it shows him right there. He's a ghost, and Natsu's the only one who can see him. And what happens is, remember, Natsu is on the carriage, and Wraith actually stops the carriage, and he's happy that Natsu can see him. And then he starts talking about the Dragon Slayers and Diabolos and Natsu. Oh, I remember them, and I love the faces he makes for all of them. Like, well, Manimal and Scullion look normal, but why does he have Kyria the extra derpy face? And he's got a derpy face too, so he remembers. And then he's like, you're part of the bad guys. I'll beat you. But he can't punch him, because he's a ghost. So we get this. This will be a good meme template for people to use. But he's yelling because Happy is with him saying, Natsu, you're scaring me. Who are you talking to? He's right there, Happy. He's right in front of us. You can't see him, Happy. And Happy can't see him. And Wraith is like, all right, well, playtime's over. And that's that. And the episode ends there. So much good stuff happened here, guys. I know we went kind of long, but there's just so much to cover. Yeah, man, like all different fights, just going back a bit. What else can I go over again? You already know I love Lucy so much, but also, like, the stuff with Erza and Jellal is just hilarious. Oh, the new characters, of course, was Nebera, and we just saw Wraith, and then seeing Diabolos again, which, I'm sorry, Lucy. But no, Lucy's still number one. So yeah, and then as for the English dub goes, the most recent one I've watched is episode 7, which episode 8 was just released, but I'm recording these a little earlier, so I haven't watched episode 8 yet. That's the Fairy Nail one. I'll be watching it shortly, but the English dub is great. I love it so much. Definitely looking forward to who they're going to cast for Nebera and Wraith. But I thought their Japanese voice actors were good as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Everybody have a great day, and peace out.
99.